So thank you everyone for joining in. Again, we will expect more people to join in while we are going through the webinar. So as we see, the topic is about the how to become a pilot and what offers are there from Auckland International Pilot Academy in New Zealand. We will be covering about entry requirements, scholarships. We will cover about the what are the outcomes after complete the course, what are the pathways, and what are the services offered by Pilot in and RBS support to support the whole process in. And at the same time, we will be open to answer all your questions, whatever you have regarding in any of your kind of full process journey. So I'm going ahead as we discussed. We have AIPA with us, which is Auckland International Pilot Academy. We have Anton, we will be presenting them, and we'll be talking about what opportunities we have with AIPA. Going ahead, it'll be great to have a brief from everyone. Again, Anton, from you, can you give 30 seconds or less than that brief about you? And
I actually have part of it into my presentation, so you can
Sure.
skip it for now. Just a little bit of suspense and mystery around
Okay.
myself.
So I'll give it to Urvi. Urvi, your 30 second about you and Pilotin. I know we are partner, but it'll be great to have a few more details
Okay.
from you.
Sure. Thank you, Bharat. Hello, guys. Good morning. My name is Urvi Jani. I'm the managing partner at the Pilot.in, and we are also the partners with APA. So basically, a little quick introduction about what we do. We are primary into facilitation of all the process. So anybody who wants to become an airline pilot, right from your class 2 medical to class 1 to computer number to DGCA ground theory classes, if you choose to go to APA, then your admissions, your visa, education loan, forex transfer, everything is taken care by us. And when you come back, we take the responsibility of license conversion paperwork as well. So it's an end-to-end process that we are providing. We are doing about 300, 350 students year on year. Apart from that, we are also the official training partner for Air India Cadet Pilot Program. So I'll keep it short about us. Maybe we'll come back later more in details about the process. And Bharat, I'll hand it over back to you.
Sure. Thank you, Urvi. And again, I'll give a brief about myself. So, guys, I'm director of RBS Intellect. We are organization in helping student visas and supporting specified programs. We are a partner with Pilotin and APA both. And at the same time, we do more recruitment for uh, candidates which are who don't want to go for pilot itself. But again, I'll keep it short today because today is Urvi and Anton, and they'll be handling all the things. So again, I'll do a bit of brief about New Zealand. So guys, New Zealand is again one of the OECD country where we have one of the excellent education system in the world. We all our universities and universities are in top 500. All our institutions are moderated and managed by government through public trust. So it's a very safe and secure in terms of your the destination, and it's at same time it is safe and secure from the monetary perspective also. Now, in terms of we talk about the study options. Again, you guys are all looking for a CPL as an option. There are multiple options. Again, if you want to change the mind, let us know. We will help you on that. But there are 5,500 programs offered by New Zealand institution, including APA. Now, New Zealand is safe and peaceful. We were always ranked in top 10 safe countries to live in the world. And again, as per the qualification or completion of studies, the financials are managed under the government policies. So one thing I can assure everyone that whatever fees you pay to college or whatever fees you go to public trust accounts in New Zealand, they are fully regulated and supported. And again, if something goes wrong, you are able to get the prorated kind of refunds. But again, that has not happened yet. Students are allowed to work part-time while they are in study. But again, this qualification is very hands-on or very technical. We can say that you will be going up and down a lot with a lot of your studies because it is around 1.5 year of studies. Now, quality of life New Zealand is what you see. It's one of the beautiful destinations. At the same time, if you want to stay back and you look on the option to stay in New Zealand, there are options. While we're going, I'll just cover another slide, which will be last slide from me. What we stand in New Zealand and how we stand in terms of education system. We call education system as a levels. It is similar what we offered in Commonwealth countries. So if you are in example from India or you're from other country, we follow bachelor's, master's, postgraduate certificates, which we offered in our home country too. We call level 5, level 6 as certificate and diplomas because we're talking about level 5, 6 today. But we do bachelor's in aviation also, which is level 7. And level 8 is a postgraduate diploma or first year of master's. Level 9 is master's degree. There are masters of aviation management, guys. So again, somebody looking for aviation management, there are opportunities available too. Again, and then level 10 is PhD. Now, there are again options in aviation sectors based on want to do PhD, but again, it depends on the age and factor. So what I'll do is that because everyone is looking into CPL side, I'll not come into the picture more here. I'll hand it over to Anton. Is that correct, Anton?
Sure.
Over to you.
I think you gave a really good brief. Somehow I wasn't able to see the presentation, but let me, if you allow me to share my screen, I will share my slides. Hello, everyone. Welcome you all guys from New Zealand. There you go. It looks like, okay. I hope everyone can see my presentation. I will try to keep it nice, short, and brief, but at the same time answer most of the questions. I already looked inside of the Q&A session, and most of the questions will be answered throughout my presentation. But if anything will be uncovered, we'll easily cover it at the end. Okay, so I represent Auckland International Pilot Academy. We have a motto: "Your ambitious, our expertise. Let's fly together." I will talk a little bit more about Academy, about the courses we provide, and about the services, and specifically why you need to choose us as one of the providers. So a little bit about myself. I'm a marketing manager and events coordinator at the Academy. I'm 3 years in the aviation industry, 10 years in education sector. Moved to New Zealand around roughly 8.5 years ago. Visited more than 30 countries. I'm a professional dive master and currently also doing my private pilot license. So trying to be, like in the same on the same level with everyone in our company, and the same level with our students. So let's talk a little bit about Academy. The slide that you can see is actually is overview of our airfield of North Shore Aerodrome. So you can see the runway, view of the runway, and the main buildings on the further right side of the runway. So the field and the aerodrome been there for the last 60 years, since 1963. But as the professional academy, the brand was organized only 2 years ago. So prior to that, we had and we still have roughly around 200 students doing their qualifications, PPL and CPL part-time every year. But 2 years ago, we decided to separate the brands and make a professional training for those who want to become airline pilots in a separate brand, in a separate company, and make a little bit different approach to what we will be doing and how we will be doing. So we created Auckland International Pilot Academy. So we are only 20 minutes away from Auckland City Centre, which is really great. We are positioned in a strategic location, which allows us to do all sort of different type of training pretty much straight away. So we are not in the controlled airspace, for those who knows what it means, meaning that we don't have that many restrictions and many other airfields and the schools around the country. We are modern and well-equipped facilities. We actually keep upgrading ourselves and keep improving the facilities that we have. We just several months ago implemented a fully integrated digital learning system, which means that you have access to the materials that you like pretty much from everywhere, including the classroom recordings, including briefing recordings, and all sort of stuff. We have fleet of 14 aircraft, 8 Alpha Robin aircraft, which is a French design aircraft. We do have 4 Cessna 172. We do have Beechcraft 76 Duchess and DA-42. We have one of the most professional and high experience instructors team in New Zealand. And I'm saying it with a very big confidence because we are the only provider in New Zealand that has 3 flight examiners with us, allowing us to do quite a lot of testing by ourselves. We do have 3 ACATs, 2 BCATs, and 10 C category instructors. 88% pass rate for all programs in the last 5 years. And when I'm saying 88, you might say it's not that high, but this is the 88% for the student passing from the first attempt, meaning that 88% of our students passed all their exams from the first attempt, which is quite cool. Right now we have 20 full-time students, and next year we are looking forward to bring another 45. We are not aiming for the number, so you easily will go and find the schools that have 100, 200 students. We are not aiming for the number. We're aiming for the quality. And quality is what you will hear a lot from me, what you hear a lot from our CFI when you will be doing your interviews. Again, we are trying to make what we do on the best possible level. Just to conclude that, we indicate Category 1 provider. This is the highest category in New Zealand, meaning that we abide in all the rules that are in New Zealand from the regulations point of view. I will be talking about two programs that we have. So, and I will later on explain why I spend more time on talking about both rather than just focusing on level 5. So we do have 2 NZQA accredited programs, which is New Zealand Diploma in Aviation Level 5 and New Zealand Diploma in Aviation Level 6. And you probably asking yourself, but we don't need diplomas. We need just CPL, right? So basically, CPL is part of both programs, but depending on your potential pathways and the career goals, you either can go for the level 5 and level 6, and it will be more beneficial to you. So here are how I'll actually make it shorter so you can see both programs. Basically, both programs are very identical, and the students doing and studying on the same day for level 5 and level 6 are actually doing a lot of studies together. Both programs include private pilot license, which I assume none of you have. Both programs has commercial pilot license with the night privileges, allowing you to fly during the nighttime. Both programs has single pilot multi-engine instrument rating, which is requirement for your future careers, no matter what you will be doing if you want to fly commercially. And the biggest difference that level 6 program also includes C category instructor rating and also ATPL human factors. So by adding those 2 programs, you have more hours in total. But generally speaking, if you join in just level 5, you still will be able to meet all the requirements that DGCA have for licenses obtained overseas. And here about the pathways. So basically, if your goal is to come to New Zealand to get your commercial license, come back to India or your country that you're coming from. I believe we should have some potential students from Vietnam as well. You can come back to your home country, do the license conversion, and apply for the airlines. So we know that the requirements for the starting position in airlines in India, in particular, is much lower than in New Zealand. So you can actually, like the hours that you get here, 230 hours, plus you will need to do your DGCA subjects and then do the conversion, will be enough to start applying for the airline position. So this is one pathway. Another pathway is if you actually want to stay in New Zealand. So we recommend doing New Zealand Diploma in Aviation Level 6, which will add on top of your commercial license instructor rating. And if you do everything right, by the time you will complete your flight training, this is actually another thing which we are the only school in New Zealand that guarantees that. If you do everything right, we guarantee you that you will have 2 job interviews. And it will be up to you. And if you do everything right, you can get an employment contract, and then you can stay in New Zealand and apply for the work visa. And yeah, you can stay in New Zealand. Also, level 6 is a really good pathway option if you want to later on apply for the bachelor's in aviation management, which Barrett just mentioned a few minutes ago. This is also possible. So the program that we have, because we are NZK accredited provider, can be converted, and it will be recognized by Massey University, and you can go and apply for the bachelor program after that. Entry requirements are the same for both programs. You need to be at least 18 years old. You need to complete your ADAPT test, which is basically a pre-screening test. You need to hold NCA level 3, or in other terms, you need to complete high school. You need to have a completion of high school at least. If you completed any other education like bachelor's or higher education, it's a beneficial, but it's not a requirement. You need to hold an aviation class 1 medical certificate, and I will specify here you need to have aviation class 1 medical for New Zealand, which is slightly different, so slight different requirements. You need to meet fit a proper person requirement, meaning that you shouldn't have any criminal records. For overseas applicants, we actually just are asking for the police certificate. For students applying from New Zealand, we go in even further. We actually asking people to provide the demerit points report to see that they don't have speeding tickets, they don't have road violations, etc., etc. You need to be competent in English, meaning that you will need to do either IELTS or any other equivalent for the language exam. And then finally, you need to pass the interview with our chief flight instructor. So looking at that, it's probably one of the strongest and the hardest selection process that you can find in New Zealand. So only us and Massey University are doing the same thing. But again, as I said before, we are looking for the best of the best, and we are trying to deliver the best quality program. So actually, when we were creating this program, we were looking on Massey, but we also were trying to see what other providers do. For example, what Qantas does in Australia. So the selection process is quite hard. It's demanding, but same as becoming a pilot. Next year intakes is 10th of February, 16th of June, and 13th of October. So those who are still in the school or in the process of doing the GGCA theory, it's actually quite convenient. So we have multiple start dates, so you can actually plan your study in New Zealand and apply in advance, and like change a few things if you think that you don't have enough time to apply for the next intake. And enrollment process, pretty much straightforward. You need to fill enrollment form. You need to provide your supporting documents, which is passport, ADAPT test results, education, statement of purpose, CV. Then we can arrange the interview with the CFI, which we are doing over Teams. And then if we are happy with you and happy to give you the offer of place, we will issue the conditional offer of place, and then you can proceed to proof of English, class 1 medical, police certificate. You can apply for student loan if you need it. And once you've got all of that, we will issue the final offer. You can pay your first installment and you can apply the visa. Fees, level 5 is $115,559 New Zealand dollars. Level 6 is roughly 40,000 more, which is basically more hours, more hours that required for C category training. So the course is more expensive, and pretty much this include everything. So one thing that it doesn't include accommodation. Everything else is pretty much included. So if you study hard, if you do everything right, you won't be spending anything else outside of this cost, because this includes uniforms, all the books, all the materials, all the flying hours, all the exam fees, all the flight tests, pretty much everything. Airways, landing fees, everything is included. Again, as long as you perform well, study hard, and do everything right. And this is pretty much it. I can stop sharing. And yeah, but over back to you. Do you want me to do the Q&A, or we do the presentation first?
I think
Yeah.
I'll do. My suggestion will be that we'll ask Urvi to go through the kind of few things, because now we are into part that how to start the journey and where to go, and how APA and piloting comes in the picture together. Is that okay? So again, guys, we have around 22 questions also. So if you wanted, I can go the questions after Urvi, whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Bharat. So guys, before we start, like I gave a brief about the pilot.in, a little more insight. We are based here in Mumbai, India, and we started the pilot.in 6 years ago. The idea was to fill a gap because it's a very unstructured course. Unlike any other degree course or master's course wherein you take an admission in a university and you graduate from there. In this case, we are aiming to obtain a CPL, commercial pilot license, along with the diploma in aviation also with APA. Correct. So the DGCA says that there are about 8 to 10 different different kinds of medicals done in different city. Correct. There are certain theory papers in India that you have to clear. For the flying bit, you can go to any flying school in the world as long as the school follows the DGCA curriculum. The DGCA has given a curriculum about minimum 200 hours of practical flight training, and there is certain breakup of those 200 hours. As long as the flying school abroad follows our curriculum, you are eligible to get a foreign license and an Indian license. Right. Apart from that, like I mentioned earlier, we have our own in-house DGCA ground theory classes, online and offline options available. And for none of the process that you start off with, right, you are required to come physical to our office. Like we have students pan India, and the entire process happens over the phone, WhatsApp, email, the entire coordination happens. So coming back to why we start this, because all this process of ground class, medical, admissions, flying, conversion happens at different places, right? Eventually, when you try to search online, you will end up wasting a lot of your time, money, because the process also keeps on changing every few months. That is when the organization like the pilot and RBS comes into the picture, wherein we are one-stop solution until you get your foreign and your Indian CPL. So we have structured a course in such a way that once you enroll with us, the first 3 to 4 months, while you do the ground theory classes, we take care of your medicals, your computer number, your visa, loan. End of 4 months, we make sure that you are ready to give the DGC exams and depart for the flight training. More or less, let's say about 12 to 15 months in APA to do your flight training. And when you come back, 1 month of prior you finishing your CPL, correct? We again touch base with you and we start planning your conversion process. So the aim is in a maximum of 20-22 months. If you plan to go to New Zealand, you should have your foreign and your Indian CPL in your hand. So we have a team who literally takes care of all your process and paperwork. That's a little bit more insight on what we do. We are into facilitation of the process. Correct. Personally, if you have to ask me, we have about 7 countries where my students are going. But if you have to ask me, I think New Zealand has the highest standards of training. So if someone has to ask me between US, New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand, I'll say go ahead with New Zealand. In fact, in case if you guys know what is a cadet pilot program, wherein airline decides to have their own cadets when they are into shortage of pilots. One of the leading airlines in our country has chosen New Zealand as a country for their cadets to be trained. In the past, in 2019, we ourselves were the part of a cadet pilot program of Air Asia India. At that time, also, airline wanted cadets to be sent to New Zealand because the quality standards of training is the highest as compared to the world. New Zealand license is also worldwide accepted, correct? So I would definitely recommend, rather than US being more commercialized, you guys choose New Zealand. Weather conditions in New Zealand, to my knowledge, is very dynamic and very similar to our country. It is not like just clear skies wherein you are learning how to fly the plane, right? You will get trained in all different weathers, which will help you when you start flying as a commercial pilot in our country. Because you're in India, at some part or the other, you will always see in Maharashtra, you will see pre-monsoon. In north, you will see now winter fog is coming in. So you will be very comfortable flying in different weather because that is something you have learned in New Zealand right during your training days. Correct. In terms of medical requirements, New Zealand medical as such is the easiest medical, right? If you clear your Indian class 2 and class 1, there is no chance of you not clearing the New Zealand medical requirement. So yeah, that's about it. I think, Bharat, if I have to see conversion part also, many people would know, or sometimes you feel that conversion in itself is a lot of paperwork. Yes, it is a lot of paperwork, but because we have a structure in place, for me, the 300 students that are going to different countries and different school, we have a team who takes care of the conversion process. So for us, it's going to be a streamlined process wherein you don't have to worry which form to fill, how to fill your logbook, how to apply for FRTOL. That process will be taken care by our team. Correct?
Great.
Also,
So, yes,
yeah.
Urvi, if you wanted, we can answer the questions also at the same time because there are good number of 25 questions and we can talk more if needed after that.
Sure,
Is that okay?
sure, please.
Yeah. So, guys, I'll start from Sandesh. He asked that any scholarship available for boys. Again, there is no boy or girl, but again, there are scholarships kind of limited in this program. They're not uh, too many scholarships. Again, Anton, is that correct? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and unfortunately, pilot training is not the cheapest thing that you can do, and there is not much scholarships available for that. I
Yeah.
think again, from our perspective, what we can do, again, if the candidate decides to go for the level 6, again, we can guarantee the 2 job interviews at the end, and closer to the end of the study of your CPL, there could be some potential scholarship option going forward, continuing the training for the instructor rating, but not at the first.
Great. I think there is a question from Ranjit. Is there how I can become a pilot? What maybe duration and the cost? Is there any post-study visa? How many percentage of pass rate? I'm 45 years of age. Now I have answer for a lot of questions, but it would be is the age barrier from the perspective of becoming a pilot in India?
No, from as such, there is no age limit. Airlines in India nowadays they are hiring up to the age of 40 as well. And we ourselves have a lot of students who are enrolling with us at the age of 30, 31. So as such course is just 1.5, 2 years, considering an end-to-end process. So I believe even if someone is 32, 33 can still
No,
go
it's a
ahead.
45. It's a 45.
It's 45. You can get your commercial pilot license at 45. But if you're planning to be fly with any of the airlines in India, then they would have a cutoff of 40.
Okay.
But you can
So
fly maybe in private charters or something. But into the commercial airspace, I doubt at 45 they give you an entry.
great. So Ranjit, I can add on that is that see again course completing qualification. I don't see there's a requirement from APA because there are people at the latent age. And what Anton said, there are opportunities of becoming a trainer. Now, if you're going for a 2-year course, there might be a trainer opportunities or other opportunities. If again, Anton, you want to add on to this particular percentage or particular age
Yeah,
is there for the trainer.
yeah. So basically, again, the minimum there is a minimum age requirement, which is 18. Talking about the maximum age, I think it's very country specific. So if, for example, commercial flying in New Zealand, not in New Zealand, in India is limited on 40. I know well that flying in the United States, they don't have the age limit, and you can fly in 50 and 60. a lot of pilots in New Zealand, they fly in their 50s and 60s as well. So it's just, like it will be much harder for you to go through the things, but at the same time, again, I know examples of people who started their careers in the late age, let's say 40 plus, and get to the airline jobs within the 10 years, becoming a captain of the I think 747 in the United States. It's possible. It's slightly harder because of the age as well, because you need to maintain a very good health. Answering the second part of the question in regards to becoming a trainer, becoming an instructor. Instructor can be any age as long as you can, again, maintain your class 1 medical, because it's still a requirement for the instructor to have a class 1 medical. As long as you have class 1 medical, you can be teaching people till 60, 70. We have one of the oldest instructors. Tim, I don't remember how old Dawson is, but he's flying I think 60s or 70s already. He's very old, but he still flies. He's a B category instructor. He's really good. And we can see in the industry a lot of people instructing in their like 50s and 60s and older. So
great. I think, and again, Ranjan, that's to add, in the diploma in aviation level 5 or level 6, there is no post-study work visa. Now you can go for a Bachelor of Aviation pathway to Massey University. There you can get 1 to 2 year or 2.5 years of post-study work, right? Depending upon the exemptions you're getting. Now I'll go to the anonymous attendee regarding the ground exams and classes. Can I attend ground classes from New Zealand and clear my exams here? Now I believe this is for Uri and for Anton. The person wanted to know about the exams for New Zealand or for India, both, if I'm not wrong.
It's actually like I think it's Ranjit. He specified it's New Zealand exams. I mean, like you will be doing all your exams here in New Zealand. So the course is structured the way that you basically, when you come in here and starting your course with us, you basically first 3 months you will be doing ground courses only. You will be doing hard study of the theory and doing the exams at the same time. Once you clear all the exams, theory exams, you will start flying. So yes, you will be doing and clearing all your exams while you're in New Zealand, and without clearing them, you won't be able to continue and do your flying and complete your complete your license. So I hope this answers the question.
Great. I think and somebody asked what the course cost. It was covered in the slide. We will be getting the details. It was 115,000 for level 5 and 167,000 for level 6, which is 1.5 to 2 years. Question from Kaushik. I'm looking forward to get more details, training duration, post-training placement services. Again, Kaushik, depend upon if you're looking for options or somebody from the team, pilot in or RBS will be connecting to you, how the services are there and what we can get. Is that correct, Urvi? I believe you are mute, so I'm just keeping it taken as yes.
I think, Bart, I can just clarify here. I actually haven't mentioned it in my presentation. So level 5 is 14 months. Level 6 is 18 months duration.
Sure. I think, Urvi, there have been a question around the medical requirements. So will you be okay to cover the medical requirements required?
Yes. So medically, as long as someone doesn't have a permanent disability, right? There is no medical requirement as such, as long as you are medically fit. But if someone says, example, I have a color blindness or I have a hearing deficiency, that is when the concern is. But if some parameters are up and down while you do your medical test, which is very normal in our day-to-day life, and that can be corrected with the medicines, then it should be okay. So I don't see, Bharat, I have never hardly have seen anyone going unfit unless and until they have a color blindness or a situation. But again, there are DGC approved doctors in every city. So once they decide they want to go ahead, we can help them in connecting with the doctors. Doctor will give them a list of tests. They can get it done and doctor will get them physically examined on that.
Okay. Question now is this. There is this kind of question about the scholarship in New Zealand for master's degree in electrical engineering. See, guys, this is the CPL webinar. If you have any course queries in regard to any of the courses, please email us. Our email is hello@rbsintellect.com. We will help you out with that. Or reach out to our given numbers on the website. Kaushik, again, any integrated graduation program available? Again, Kaushik, there is a Bachelor of Aviation available, but again, it will be more expensive program, which is integrated to aviation management and aviation or CPL. We can discuss. If you can send the details to our number or email, we will contact you soon. Anonymous learning, what is our instructors to student ratio? So, Anton, question to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So while in a classroom for the ground courses, you have the classroom of 15 students. But once you start flying, we maintain 5 students to 1 instructor ratio. So 5 students will be allocated to 1 managing instructor who will be managing the students pretty much throughout the whole program, with the exception of a few flights that will require a higher level of instructor.
Great. Coming down to the this question about how many aircrafts are there in the academy, I think you have covered this. You want to repeat it again? I believe some people have
so it's 14 aircraft right now. So and again, we are looking to expand. Right now, the 14 aircraft that we have is more than enough to train the amount of students we have. Next year we have a plan to get a few more. But yeah, right now 14 aircraft, 8 Robins, 4 Cessna 172, Duchess, which is a Beechcraft aircraft, and DA-42.
Great. The question from age limit, I think age limit, please, we have covered that already. Its minimum is 18. Kaushik, again, with regards to pass rate, 88%, that means 12% couldn't able to clear due to which reason?
It basically
Anton?
means that they like 88 pass rate, meaning that they cleared from the first attempt. So most of our students complete. So those who failed and couldn't complete the program, the percentage is very low. So yeah, 12% is basically they cleared, but not from the first attempt.
So again, Anton, there will be a very odd question here. How many people, if there's 100 students starting the course, how many are not able to complete or leave the course in the middle?
We usually have like maybe 2 or 3 drop. If like from 100, I would say 2 or 3 will drop. Due any reasons? Again, some people are not able to pass the exams and just basically fail. Some people just the circumstances change and they decide to go back home or do something else. So it's again, those who completely abandon the program is maybe 2 or 3% at max. The rest is just like out of these 12%, just need more time
Sure.
on passing the exams.
Again, and currently, I think we have not seen any kind of dropout in last 2-3 years. Is that correct?
Yes, more or less. Yeah. It's
Sure.
it's very hard to say because like there are full-time students, there are part-time students. Part-time students, like we do have a lot of them, and they do tend to drop more than the full-time students. So full-time students, which we basically diploma level 5 and level 6, they are more committed, and the percentage of drop is almost not
Sure.
there.
Again, thank you, Kaushik, for the question. Again, we understand that you asked for the abilities of some, but again, there are some options of studying PPL courses online, which are New Zealand. Which again, Anthony, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, thank you, Bart. So basically, yeah, we launched another program that called PPL Online, which basically allows you to do 3 PPL subjects: flight radio, navigation, and meteorology, New Zealand PPL subjects online, and also do those 3 exams online, being whatever you are, which potentially can cut down the cost of your study. And also, like, again, it's just like if you not ready to commit and come straight away into New Zealand, or waiting for the visa, or waiting for the funds to clear off, or doing the DGCA ground course at the same time, you can do that. So basically, it's online course which is mixed study. So you will be doing some tutor sessions with our instructors online and going through the materials. Also, we'll have full access to the ground course materials, and then there will be 3 exams integrated. The course is 10 weeks, which allows you to easily go through all the materials and pass the exams. So this part you can
Great.
do being in India or whenever.
Sure. But again, it depends. We always recommend to go full course when you are in. If you can do it, it will be easier for you. Now, going to the question with Palak, can we work in New Zealand as well? Yes, you can work New Zealand part time while doing the course, but remember that this course is taking a lot of attention. It's 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. Is that correct, Anton?
Yes, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So it will be requiring a lot of attention from your end, but you can work over the weekend if you are. Because with diploma in aviation, you are eligible to work up to 20 hours per week. Another vicinity, can I apply for a job in New Zealand after completing course? Anton, you want to answer the course? I know.
Yeah. So basically, it's again. So after completing level 5 or level 6, you won't get a work like post-study work visa. But again, if you get a job, if you get a employment agreement, then you can apply for the work visa. And if you go for the level 6, this is something what we can suggest you. Again, you like if you do, all our students, level 6 students, are getting interviews after the completion of the course. It also could be played this way, so you can join for the level 5, and by the end of your level CPL training, you can make a decision and upgrade to the level 6 if you think that it's something for you and you want to stay in New Zealand. But yeah, if you get an employment, you can definitely stay in New Zealand. But outside of that, you will need to go for the bachelor's to get a post-study work rights.
Great. Some switchery. Can you please explain more about the pathway in context of PR citizenship of New Zealand? So, guys, just remember that this course is not leading to any residence or citizenship for New Zealand. The process is very different. They are depending upon the work and post-study options and what jobs you get in New Zealand. Again, I'll recommend please send your details on email. I will be, or your questions on email, I'll be answering it with our licensed immigration advisor to support you guys. We have Roger. If you are New Zealand or permanent residents, what is the assurance of easily getting a job after studies? Again, Anton, so Roger, this question is, over to you.
Yes, basically, like guys, there is no big difference if you're a New Zealand resident or if you're international student getting a job in the industry. I mean, like New Zealand resident doesn't need to have a visa, but if you're a good student, and we've seen that many times within our school as well and within other schools, if the student is actually really good, the chances that you will get a job will be quite high, and it doesn't really matter if you have visa or you don't have a visa. So, yeah.
Again, Roger, we're not assuring anyone a job. This is a study program pathway. Jobs depend upon various things in terms of availability, in terms of where you're applying, what's the background, and a lot. So, suggestion will be always to do a bit of due diligence of any market or industry you're applying in, or any course you're studying. CPL demand in India is much different to CPL demand in New Zealand or in compared to Australia. So please see where you're located and how you're going in. Now, it's anonymous again. I'm a good student, but I didn't get well conditioned for study due to financial problem. Again, can't answer the question. Please clarify it. Thank you, Suraj, for supporting. What are we going down to? Palak, is there any hidden costs? No, there are no hidden costs. If you study level 5 or level 6 aviation, there are very clear course options. Now, if you're doing a DGCA ground courses in India, or you're doing any option of the pathway towards conversion, there are certain costs. They will be you will be getting the details when you sign up but there is no hidden cost from APA. Is that correct?
No.
Great. Farzana, can I get student loan? Yes, Farzana, pilot and RBS both are partnered with ICICI Bank India. If you're from India, you can get student loan from these for CPL courses. Again, uncertainty is conversion also included. Again, I will recommend when you register for the course with pilot or RBS, we will provide you the full process, how it goes. From APA, the conversion process is not covered, not included. Neither DGC ground classes are included. So we will tell you the whole process and opportunity around it. Yash, I just heard the career pilot program comes with the job security. Is that the same the course offered in the institution? Anton, you want to answer? I can answer that.
Yes and no. It's actually cadet pilot programs doesn't come with job security. You still need to be one of the best students for the company to employ you after you complete your course. So it's again, if you do the level 6, we will guarantee that you will have 2 job interviews for the instructor positions, not for the pilot positions. But it will depend on you, how good you are as an instructor, how good you are as a student during the course. So yeah, it's pretty much the same as any other industry. If you're really good in something, that it will be much easier for you to get a job.
Okay, and then Nishesh, you asked for the career program. Again, career program are offered currently by pilot in with their running in Air India career program, but again, they are not included for the APA. They are included for the different schools. Okay, Kaushik, what's the difference between level 5 and 6? I think we have covered Kaushik on that, but level 5 is covering all the requirements what you require as a DGCA, but level 6 covers more towards the instructor rating or instrument rating. Is that correct, Anton?
Yes, it's basically just the instructor rating. So level 5 is PPL, CPL, and instrument rating. Level 6 on top of that as the instructor rating.
Great. Suraj Jadhav, please contact me at the WhatsApp. I'm contacting Suraj. If somebody will contact you, sure. Sir, if so, level 6 guarantees job interview, but not the job placement, correct? Now, again,
Correct.
clarify here that
Yeah.
the job guarantee interviews are basically for becoming a trainer or instructor.
Yes,
They're not for
correct. Yeah.
CPL.
Yeah.
Though, and it's not a guaranteed job placement. You are welcome to do interviews. There is a requirement or there is a shortage of instructors in New Zealand, and that's where it is an offer to and to a lot of options are there for students, but it
Yeah.
is not becoming a pilot, guys.
Yeah.
Again, can you please repeat the medical requirement again? I think we have covered that already. Can we work as a pilot in New Zealand? As Anton said, if you are offered a job from a Air New Zealand, but I believe the requirements are different.
Requirements in New Zealand for pilots are much higher than pretty much almost anywhere in the world, and usually people like domestic students as well, they become instructors first. They work as an instructor for 2-3 years before they apply for the airline positions, because Air New Zealand, let's say, the minimum requirement is 500 hours to just apply. They usually get people on board with roughly 750 hours. And if you complete level 5, you only have 230 hours. So you have pretty much big gap before you can just apply for the positions. And other airlines in New Zealand and Australia, they have a minimum requirement of 1,500 hours. So becoming an instructor, if you live in New Zealand, if you want to stay in New Zealand, becoming an instructor is the easiest way to bridge this gap and get enough hours to then apply for the airlines.
Great, but at the same time, again, the options which DCA or India is offering is much different, much higher and better.
Correct. Yeah.
Going to, I think, Aditya, how does the academy help with accommodation? Is there any built-in facility, or do we have to arrange to ourselves?
Yeah, so we do have a couple of accommodation providers that we work with. One of them is Macy Accommodation, only 15 minutes away from the aerodrome. But you're also more than welcome to find your own accommodation, and quite a lot of students actually prefers to find and just share a house or live together in a house rather than staying in a dormitory or on campus with the university, but it's completely up to you. We will definitely give you a couple of options, but then accept it or not, it's up to you.
Agreed. And then there's a choice again. We do. That's the reason we do ask people to come at least 2 to 3 weeks early. We will support them various other options, what are available at what pricing. Going down to where are there any accommodations? I think near to school. Again, we've answered the question. Where Farzana, can you explain what's the difference between? We have done that also. Suraj, your email ID is already there, so please email us at hello. So guys, anyone want to email? Please email us hello@rbsintellect.com. We will connect you with the piloting team also together, so that and we work together to make sure that we support everyone. And RBS office is based out of Delhi in India, though we have other 17 offices in multiple countries. Okay, and I think we'll go to another question. Attendees, what if the student want to get a job offer after the course? Do you provide a job guidance as well, or it is mandatory to the bachelor's? So again, I'm going to ask this question. As a CPL, the job guidance is there, but going for a job, there is hours which are required in use, and so you might. I think I can tell you, 99% students normally go back to the home country to become a CPL or become a pilot in the home country. Now, if you want to become a trainer, that is something which we can help you out in New Zealand with to support and provide you options for the interview. Is that, Anton, anything you want to add
Yeah.
here?
No, it's 100% correct.
Again, due to dynamic weather, do the delays in training happen?
Yes, it does. The course duration considers those delays. So 14 months and 18 months, it already includes the weather conditions throughout the winter. So we do more or less know how the weather will behave during the winter. We have a forecast of non-flying days for each season, and those days are considered within the program. When Bart was saying about how long you need to be in the campus, so basically the study is Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. But saying that, there also will be some time when you will be flying during the evening times, when you will be doing your night rating. So there is some time after hours. And also, let's say if there will be a complete something out of the blue, the whole week raining or whole week storms, and you won't be able to fly throughout the week, but then there will be a weekend clear weather, there is a possibility that your flights will be scheduled on the weekend. But yeah, technically, when we say 14 months or 18 months, we will try our best and we will deliver the program within the time frames of the program.
So guys, just to give you a heads up that delay can happen anywhere in the world, and again the weather schedules changes again. But again, the course have those things covered to support you guys. And in New Zealand, it is not too bad. Always do remember that we are in a southern hemisphere, but we're not in Antarctica. Just to give you a heads up. I think a lot of people don't know New Zealand enjoys a lot of sunshine too, in a good way. Can you please repeat about the process of conversion of the license when coming back to India? Again, whoever the person is, that we will recommend you to send an email, because that process is we have not covered, and we normally tell to students who, when they are processing the whole CPL through us, it is a process covered and supported by us, but a lot of documentation are required. So my suggestion will be, it is something we want to see, that we want to see the students who are going through piloting or RBS will be supported on that. Is there any height requirements for pilot in New Zealand? And I believe no.
It's a funny question, like I would assume you're asking from the perspective not too high, from if you, let's say, average height or slightly below the average height. We actually do have some students who are not that high, and for that we actually do have some cushions to put on the seat, so you're able to fly the plane and see everything that is required. But saying that, yeah, no, there is no requirement as it is in pretty much any plane. The seats can be regulated, and if it's not regulated enough, again, there is a cushion. We actually do have one of our instructors flying with a cushion, which is all right. So
Great. I think that's a pretty good. So we can fly when we are short in nutshell. So Leander, I think you asked the question. Can we elaborate on the diploma part? Again, Leander, will be great if you can come to the website or ask question. We can send the details. We have answered this already. I'll not repeat. We just want to make sure that we cover the question before we finish the presentation, and which is we are about time. What is the course fee of level 4 and 5 individually? Any hidden costs or different results? The courses are there on the website. We can send the details. It's 115,000 for level 5. There is no level 4. Level 6 is 167,000. I think that's few hundred plus, which is I think, and there's no hidden costs except the accommodation and living expenses which you have to cover. As for immigration, New Zealand, $20,000 are required for 1 year course. But again, when you live with the friends and accommodation, they might slightly will be cheap for you guys, but you don't need to pay all together in one go. Is there any additional cost involved in student needs more time to clear examination? I believe yes. It is
yeah.
depends on hours and depends on examination you
Basically,
clear.
like answering the question, like you will need more time only if you actually fail one of the parts of your training. So if you will be, for example, failing the exams, or if you won't be able to reach a milestones throughout the training, and it will require you some additional hours or additional study to do, then yeah, you will need to, like, again, the course has the hours included in the program, in the fees. If you fail your exam, you pay for a receipt from your own pocket. If you need to, like, let's say, if in the course you need to reach the certain milestones by doing this number of hours and you exceeded this number of hours, you will be paying for those extra hours. And again, if the duration grows of your program, then you will be spending more time, so paying for more money for the accommodation. And if it will require, you will also need to cover the visa cost for visa extension. But from our perspective, we are doing our best, and we are trying to. The program is designed the way that if you do everything right, and we make sure that if we select you, we selected you, and understand and have a full understanding that you will be able to go through the program within the time frames. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Great. I think there's a very tricky question, Anton. Again, we've answered it a couple of times. Which is the better option, studying bachelor in aviation or a diploma, level 5,
Uh,
6?
I mean, like, pilots doesn't need the bachelor to fly the airplane, right? So the bachelor is basically is only if you actually want to stay in New Zealand, is to get the post-study work rights. Bachelor as it is won't give you any benefits when you will be applying for the airline positions. And it also not the bachelor in, like, bachelor in aviation management. So it's not, again, nothing to do with your actually flying abilities. So
Yeah, but again, like I said, just to add, there's a bachelor of aviation which covers flying hours, but then that is more expensive, guys. It'll be ranging around 250 to $300,000. So just to give you a heads up. But again, if somebody want to need the detail, we are happy to give answers on that. Though if you do diploma, you are having a pathway to bachelor's option available. Also, depend again how fast you want to finish the course. The question from Rudra Pratap: can we give exams in India and complete our flying in New Zealand?
you can give 3 exams, which we covered separately when we were discussing the PPL online course. You can complete 3 of the PPL exams. So it's 6 exams for PPL, 6 exams for CPL, and 3 exams for the instrument rating. So out of these 15, you can complete first 3 being in India. The rest will need to be completed in New Zealand.
Great. Thank you, Anton. I think the question is that what's the estimate wage for if somebody become an instructor in New Zealand? What's the hourly wage or salary if somebody becomes an instructor?
So it's a slightly complicated question. So it's more than the minimum wage. The minimum wage right now is $23, I believe,
Yeah,
per hour.
23.7. Yeah,
So
23.7.
the instructor salary is quite a complicated thing. So basically, working as a full-time instructor, you will be paid being in a building doing pretty much just groundwork, and this is the basic rate, which is slightly over the minimum wage. But then you will be paid extra for tutoring hours and for flying hours. So if you fly more, you get paid more. If you do more time with the students, you paid more. So basically, it will adds on. I think roughly it's around $60,000 to $70,000 a year.
Minimum. Is that correct?
Sorry?
Anton, that's a minimum 60 to 70. It can go higher also.
Yeah.
Great. And I believe it can go higher because, but again, remember, guys, the pilot salaries are different compared to
Yeah.
instructor.
Yeah.
Now, can you please repeat, I think, what the minimum hours requirement for CPL? I think we have covered, depending on which country. I think in India, we require around 230 hours. Is that correct, Anton?
Yeah. So level 5 is also roughly 230 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Approximately what is the cost of accommodation? It will be ranging between $250 per week to $350 per week, depend which accommodation you're choosing and which kind of package you're choosing in. Is that anything, Anton, you want to add on that?
Yeah, I think the cheapest accommodation that we have, the providers that we work with, is 225 per week, which is just a pure accommodation. And Macy Halls, I think they charge around $400, like $390 per week, but this includes the meal plan as well.
Agreed. Yeah, so it includes the meal plan. Again, if you're not taking meal plan, there will be different options. Now, the Pratap question is again, what is the cost of CPL in New Zealand? I think we have covered the course diploma in level 5 aviation, which is offered, covers CPL. It is 115,000. If you are going for an instructor rating for level 6, which is roughly 2 years, it is 167,000.
Mhm.
And now, is it important to pay first installment? Because if you pay and get the visa rejected, then how we should be done?
This is the
Now,
best part.
guys, this is the best part. So again, I'm happy to answer again. Andrew, you want to answer that?
Yeah. So as per my knowledge, there is 100% approve rate for pilot programs in New Zealand. I mean, like, at least for our academy, we don't have any rejections yet. Knock on the wood. But yeah, I think it's 100% approve rate for aviation courses in New Zealand. So
I'll
unless
give the answer here is
yeah.
that New Zealand follows two routes: is the AIP route and the pre-visa route. So you can follow the AIP route. If you get a visa, then pay the fees. It only takes away 2 weeks away from you because it takes a time. 99% pay the fees, which is first installment in advance. The benefit is that it doesn't kind of it gets the visa straightforward. Otherwise, if you follow the IP route, immigration will ask you to pay the fees, and then they will issue the visa for you. So again, if you want to be more, and if you have time, you have more things you can do with the money. Please go for AIP route. If you think that you want to be immediate or you're in the last minute, we recommend save your 2 weeks and pay the fees in advance. So both the routes are available. Like Anton said, the approval rate of CPL is kind close to 100%. But again, we don't guarantee visa for anyone. It depends upon your document, financial background history. It all goes hand to hand. But CPL courses are kind of low risk programs for New Zealand for now. Great. I think we have ended up with all the questions. I hope if Urvi, she's not there. But again, any other questions if there? Otherwise, we will. You will be getting calls from either Pilotin or RBS to support the whole journey, and we'll be looking after to all the process and all the requirements what you need from us. Now, any other last minute question or anything, Anton, from your end, you want to add here?
No, I think there were really good questions. I think we covered everything that we can at this time.